Every time when you go to the clinic or the hospital regarding pregnancy, they first look at your age. They even look even if you do have a ring on your hand. It's like they want you to live the way they want you to live. They don't want you to make mistakes and then learn from them. Because when we talk about abortion, you don't just go about and do abortion. You first think, you re-evaluate your steps, and then you take a decision that now I want to do it. So every time we go to the hospitals, health facility, the first thing they will ask you, don't you know sleeping with a boy you will get pregnant? And they will look at your age, they will be like, you're still young, you should be studying, you should be doing this, you should not be doing that. The reality is, we're all humans, we're living. We have dreams, we have aspirations.
We have these backstreet abortion facilities that are offering a service, albeit a service that can put people's lives at risk. But people are often finding themselves in a situation where they are having no choice but to go to these backstreet abortion clinics because they simply cannot get the service that they require at the public healthcare facilities. Waiting times are very long. People are not often available to deliver the service on the same day. And so people find themselves in a situation where they actually have to go out there and take their health needs into their own hands.
Kodwa masifika khona asithethisa and stuff azosiza kanjani lo muntu after sekusethisa lapho yenza ukuthi through the way akusiza khona nge-abortion ngagcina sekuba nama-izinto ezigcina sazenzayo esezi-wrong mhlawumbe kuthunge wrong noma kusize wrong bese mhlawumbe kugcina ekuthenini ukuthi ugcine ungasakhona abantwana ngenxa yokuthi akasizanga kahle.
That's the most possible.
Yeah.
I will get
100% sure.
I think it takes effort not only on people in the public health system, but also people in politics, people in schools and education. And I think also healthcare providers need to be, when it comes to the attitudes of healthcare providers, that's an important conversation to have, because oftentimes people will say that when they're seeking these services, they actually feel judged and humiliated, and they feel like they'd rather not continue the process because of the attitudes of the healthcare providers in these facilities. And that has a ripple effect. If you have a friend who's been to a termination of pregnancy clinic and they've had a horrible experience, they're going to come back and tell their friends, and that makes them less likely to be able to seek that service. And so I think that on all levels, all of us need to be educated with regards to people's rights to make those reproductive decisions.
Teenage pregnancy, most of the time, baye bakhuleliswe ngabafana nabo bangasebenziyo, for example i-school boys ezingafumani imali phi, so baye bacinga ba nabo otata babantwana bazokwazi uba babasupporte to raise abo bantwana. Ndicinga uba imali into ebasengqondweni ababazobakhulisa njani abantwana.
So legally, a healthcare provider is not permitted to decline termination of pregnancy service to anybody. It's actually illegal for a healthcare practitioner to do that, whether it's a nurse or a doctor or anybody else. And again, that speaks to the attitudes of certain healthcare providers. And while it is your right as a healthcare provider to not offer the service yourself, you are obliged to refer a person on who does want to seek out that service. And so the referral system is there All it takes is a nurse or a doctor to write a referral letter to a termination of pregnancy clinic for that person to continue to seek that service. And so it is important for people to know their rights. We are governed in the healthcare system by the Batho Pele principles. And so I often say to people who are having a tough time, especially in the public healthcare system, where they're feeling like their needs are not being met, you actually do have the right to complain about a lack of service delivery.
Some of us who cannot afford going to a private hospital to do abortion, and at that we have that thing in our mind that if we go to public, they're going to judge us. So I will choose the one that I will not be judged for doing it. Even if it means I'll go through some complications after, but if what I want to be done is done, then I would go for it. So accessibility is one of those factors where you look at your financial status, where you look at the society expectations of you, and at some point you look at the fact that will I be able to afford it to go there? Will I not be judged if I am there? Because right now, if I'm being judged, emotionally I'm being disturbed, mentally I am being disturbed, and physically I'm still going to be disturbed. Financially I'm already disturbed by the fact that I'm about to be a parent and I'm not ready to be a parent. So I would say accessibility is one of those causes where we sit down and think to ourselves and be like, if I go to a private hospital, I need 2,000 plus. I cannot have 2,000 plus. If I go to a public hospital, my aunt is working there. The whole hospital and the whole community will know that reason. If I do abortion and everyone know that I did, the whole community will know, and they will be calling me names, not knowing what I was thinking doing abortion in the first place, not putting them in my shoes, what I went through before deciding what to do. And lastly, I look at the fact that will the baby daddy be even able to afford us? Because it's not about just affording the baby itself. Also me, after, I need to be well taken care of, to go back to my body, to my self-confidence. It takes a lot. And people are just turning a blind eye to the fact that these public hospitals are failing us. And they really are failing us. At some point we go to dangerous places because we know they will treat us and they will do what we want to be done without judging us.
We all respond differently to the reality of termination of pregnancy. Some people can move on quite quickly and not experience any negative emotional experiences as a result of choosing to terminate a pregnancy. But for other people, it can have a lifelong impact on their mental health. And this is where I think the system again is inundated with the need, and the question is, are we actually able to fulfill that need? Because oftentimes there's just no time to do the counseling that is required in order to prepare these people not only to make the decision, but also for the long-term effects of having made the decision. And how do they now go back and live a life that is not going to be overly consumed with thoughts and ideas about the decision that they've made?